Hi, and welcome to the Yoga Energy with Katie podcast, a space where we explore yoga beyond the postures, dive into the philosophy, the stories, and how it can actually show up in our daily lives. Today, I want to share something I've been quietly working on for a while, something I'm really excited about, and finally, I'm ready to bring it into the world. I want to invite you onto a new path with me, a space where we can learn, reflect, and grow together. It's a working title, but the name that's been stuck with me for so long now is Not Another Teacher Training. So here's the first thing I want to point out. If you Google yoga student training, what do you get? Every result, every time I found is yoga teacher trainings. 200 hours, 300 hours, 500 hours. And honestly, it really frustrates me. There's nothing, there are no courses for somebody who simply wants to deepen their practice or explore a deep practice as a yoga student. Now, don't get me wrong, there are amazing teacher trainings in Ireland and all over the world. I did a 200-hour course myself back in 2016. And I did a 300-hour course in 2023. So I've done this structure. I've been through the usual 200 and 300 hours. But maybe because I've done it, I can see some of the issues, the assumptions, the perception of yoga itself. So many people think yoga is just fitness, flexibility, or a way to relax. And I think that perception is only growing. We're not educating people well enough on what yoga actually is. If you look at other disciplines like karate or tai chi, there's clear steps, discipline, a slow, structured relationship between student and teacher. And I really believe that yoga needs something similar. Not necessarily a return to totally traditional, but a way to slow down the commercialization and the watering down of this beautiful practice. I also want to be honest about my own feelings over the years. So, probably over the last maybe 4 or 5 years, I've had at least three regular students of mine come to me after class on an evening with such excitement in their voice, telling me that they have just signed up for a 200-hour teacher training. And while I was genuinely delighted for them because I know the journey that those courses take you on, it is genuinely life changing. But I'll have to be honest, I did feel a bit jealous because I wanted to offer something deeper. And these students were like my ideal students, but I wasn't ready to do it before. And I genuinely believe that, I've done enough courses now. I've delivered Reiki trainings and yoga retreats and other different things. And I genuinely believe that the people that I'm meant to teach will appear in front of me. And then the students that chose other trainings, they were meant to be on them. So, while it was just a moment of jealousy, it was still there. So, it is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time now. And when I was on my last training in India, I remember sitting in a class and thinking, like genuinely thinking, I'm not sure if I can continue teaching anymore. It felt like such a huge responsibility. It was in an anatomy class. And I just thought to myself, there's so much that people need to know about these practices. There's part of me that feels it's irresponsible to offer these practices willy-nilly, to allow people to just saunter in and out of 1 hour classes, or even on bigger trainings to allow people in without much prior knowledge about yoga. And it feels like, it just feels like there's so much that people need to know about themselves and about the practices, especially if, they have a mild health condition or an injury, or for anyone who's navigating any kind of emotional or mental vulnerabilities. I just didn't feel it was fair for someone to come to a class and move through practices without really understanding them. So I think that's why in the last couple of years, I've really honed in and tried to focus on the fundamentals of yoga. I've really stripped back what I teach in my classes. But also that's why this training is focused on the student first. It's not just it's not a mini teacher training or anything like that. This will be structured like a 200-hour teacher training, but just done in different ways. I've designed it in a way that I teach my Reiki courses. So with Reiki, there's 3 levels. Usually level 1 is all about a self practice, how to practice Reiki on yourself. And with Reiki, you can go then and offer it to your family and friends, just to practice it on other people. Level 2 is a practitioner level. So you learn the deeper teachings of Reiki, and you also learn how to practice professionally on others. And then level 3 is the so-called master level. I don't like that word master, but anyway, it's the level that teaches you how to teach Reiki, and as well as learning the deeper lessons of Reiki. And I really wanted to offer this yoga course in the same type of way. Now, of course, the Reiki course is a much shorter, not as in depth as what would be in a yoga course, but I like that there's 3 different levels. So somebody could come to level 1 and that's all they ever do. They just want some more information about how to practice yoga, and they can come to these couple of weekends and perhaps never go to a class again. Level 2 will be deeper teachings again, where you will study more about your anatomy, how you move, why you move, what effects movements and different practices have on your physical and mental body. We'll look into the different processes and the different systems of the body. Not quite a full anatomy training, what that would be on a teaching level, but enough to give you an understanding of your own body. Because I'm really focusing, I just want people to sign up for level 1 and 2, to be honest. Level 1 will be for people to understand the practices and create their own dedicated self practice, whether that be through asana or meditation, through mantra, through karma yoga. There'll be lots of different ways that you'll be able to create a self practice. And level 2, we'll just go a little bit deeper on that, understanding a little bit more about anatomy. And then if anybody feels then that they're getting a calling to go deeper and to share some of what they're learning, then they can decide if they want to step into the teacher training, which will be 150 hours on top of the 100 that we've already done. So in total, it will actually be a 250-hour course. So yes, if somebody eventually wants to teach, that option will be there, but that's really, really not the focus. The focus is on learning, exploring, and really understanding yoga on a deeper level. And I also feel this way makes it much more accessible for people. They don't need to commit to a full 200 or 250 hours. You don't need to pay the full amount. You can pay by module. You can just commit to the level 1, see how it goes. So I feel like it's a much more accessible way into it. So yeah, it will be in three different levels. It's about integration as well. I really want each person to be able to integrate the philosophy, the mythology, meditations, anatomy, breath work, and that you can bring into your life right away. Because I think most people who start a yoga teacher training don't actually intend to teach. They just want to learn more. And it feels like if somebody has started learning yoga and they want to learn more, they have to go on a yoga teacher training. But as they go deeper, the knowledge often feels so valuable. Yeah, so people start off not wanting to teach, just wanting to learn more. They go on a teacher training, then often the knowledge does start to feel more valuable, that sharing it naturally becomes part of the process. But the student foundation has to come first. And that's why I want to emphasize a strong foundation, full support, and a focus on authentic learning before any teaching comes into play. And like a lot of the other courses, this will be done over weekends. I'm still to decide exactly how many weekends this will go because this is a work in progress. I will be showing you my journey on how I'm structuring all this and my plans and my mistakes along the way, as well as coming along to the weekend workshops, classes, it'll be a full weekend. As well as that, I am going to be creating an online community, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to open up to everybody, anybody who wants to have regular conversations about yoga. Yoga discussion groups, place that you can come and ask questions. I'm pretty sure I'm going to open this up to everyone. I just want anybody who feels like, actually, I'm not ready for a deep course. I just want a little group that I can drop in and out of throughout the year. So this will be an online space that we can get to know one another and basically talk and question yoga. I've also got so many plans for amazing guest teachers. I've contacted one or two already, and it looks like, yeah, I won't go into detail about who they are or what they offer or anything, but oh my goodness, it would be a real honor to have these teachers on the course. They'll join one of the weekends and do maybe a 3 or 4 hour workshop. And again, possibly that will be optional for people to join in on that as well. So that you can, if there's just one part of this course that feels like, okay, that's for me, you can join that part. And eventually, I'd love this to become cyclical. So whether it's once or twice a year, I offer it. Maybe you start on level 2, and then the next year you come back to level 1, and then the year after that you go on to level 3. Who knows what way it'll develop, but I would love to see it as this cyclical approach that you can join at any time, really, rather than it being a definite start and finish line. That seems so much more authentic and so much more accessible and in line with what yoga is. Yoga is not very linear. There is no definite start or finish to yoga. There is no start at all or finish at all to yoga. So, yeah, I like that idea of just this constant flow of learning and practicing. So, that is the spark. That's what I'm sharing today, to create a space alongside with you. Not just me taking this and making it blend into all the millions of courses that are already out there. I want you to be part of this creation. So while I'm obviously limited on what I can offer, I am going to be collaborating with other teachers, and I want this to be a collaboration with the students as well. So I would love to hear from you. maybe I'll just finish on this question. What do you want to learn most about yoga? Is it the anatomy, the philosophy, mythology, meditation, or maybe how to live yoga day to day? Send me your thoughts, reply to this episode, or leave a comment. So I'll be back next week with possibly a slightly controversial episode when I'm going to talk about the wellness industry and the yoga teacher training models that we see. And I'll talk lots more about my course, not another yoga teacher training. I'll have to work on that. It's the only title or name that has come to me, and I like the idea of it, but I'm not sure it's marketable. Maybe I don't want it to be. Anyway, it's not another yoga teacher training. It's a yoga student training that I'm thrilled to share with you. So, I'll try not to get myself into trouble next week, but let's see how it goes. Thank you again for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.